Hey, this is my Cryomancer build. Let's start with the abilities. First, Snowball. This rolls enemies into a snowball and prevents them from taking objectives in 10 vs 10. It's basically a stun. Crystal Shield, this is damage absorb, it helps you survive. Cryo Beam, that's a beam basically, does damage in a line. Jagged Ice, this is channeling ability. You need to stand still while casting it, but it does nice damage. And Whiteout, this is huge area of effect damage. This is your main and the strongest ability. Okay, talents. So, Cryo Charge. Cryo Beam can consume more cryogen to inflict bonus damage and also gives you 2 free icy tones, that's your right click, and it inflicts bonus damage. Next up, Supercooling, so it increases your critical chance on enemies that have intense cooling by 30%. You can apply intense cooling by casting Whiteout. Then 50% bonus critical chance for enemies with Icebound and Cryonic Suspension. Cryonic Suspension is a stun that's applied with Glacial Fangs and Ice Beam. Okay, next up, Icy Blade. So your right click inflicts 200 more damage to targets that have Cryonic Suspension. It removes it and applies a stun. It knocks them down, but it's basically a stun. And again, it's applied by Glacial Fangs and Icy Beam. Frostbite, this increases Snowstorm and Whiteout duration. We use Whiteout because it's more damage. Shivers, amount of damage absorbed by shield, and it also immobilizes enemies who enter the range. I think it's 5 yards, yeah. Next up, the range of snowball is increased, and if enemy is not rolled in the snowball but is in its area of effect, they take bonus damage. Power of cold, damage dealt by fragments left behind, icy missiles, so it's when you charge your right click, is increased double by your strength, so it's really nice damage. And Crystal Shield cooldown reduction by 11 seconds. It's basically 50% cooldown reduction. Okay, so symbols. The main thing you need is of course a paladin symbol. It gives you immunity when you take 10% or more of your HP as a damage. It procs a lot, so it saves you a lot. Cryomancer symbol can be useful if you need the enemy, it can immobilize them, so Volok symbol, damage proc. Alchemist symbol, it gives you bonus damage for 10 seconds, it procs a lot. Knight symbol, so yeah, you get a lot of CC in PvP, so you need this, it can be helpful. So Gunner symbol, the ability that you are casting the most is the Jagged Ice, so you stand still while you're doing it, so by the time you cast your Jagged Ice, this symbol can proc, so I guess that's nice. Kinetic symbol, like you usually proc it with your right click before applying Whiteout. I'll demonstrate that later in PvP, but it's useful. You most of the time have this 10% as a bonus damage. So Necro symbol, it prevents enemy from targeting you together with Summon Oculot. Archer symbol, bonus damage to enemies that have more than 50% HP. Okay, so Berserker symbol, when you are attacked, you have a chance to get increased damage, it's good. Lightbinder symbol, it doesn't really work for Cryomancer because he has a low HP, and I don't know, I still use it because I need defense and I have bonus symbols, so might symbol. From the evasion, bonus damage, why not? Battle defense, PVP, you need it. Slowing attacks, slowing the enemy, bonus, especially with your whiteout and everything, like enemies get super slowed. So bonus critical, bonus strength, because that's your build, strength and luck. Pain shock, it can proc paladin symbol, paralyzing shock, stun, it's really good. Critical chance applies the dot and crushing blow applies the dot. Ruthlessness, bonus damage to enemies that are slowed and stunned, and you have a lot of slows and stuns, so this helps you a lot. Balance, I use it as a defense, you always fight more than 3 enemies in PvP. What did I miss? Impact, so this is done when you attack enemy several times in a row. Mark of Death, if it procs at the right time it's useful, if not then it's useless. Defense reflex, I use it as to try and survive as a bonus defense, might help a bit, I don't know. Element of surprise, if you cast your whiteout at the start of the fight, your whiteout gets the full duration, bonus damage for the full duration, but in later stages of the fight this is useless. And that's it. This is what I use on my items, so build is strength luck, rings of course strength luck, accuracy over the critical chance and crushing blow on chapels. Amulets, shattered storm and jack dice. Main hand is cryo beam and both charges of icy missile deal as 8% more critical damage, and offhand is bonus whiteout damage. For the chapels, accuracy is first priority, then crushing blow and then critical. Of course you need defense penetration for PvP, and same goes for items. On rings you need the battle defense. Because I have the element of surprise and the kinetic symbol, you always charge your right click first for 10% bonus damage and use whiteout at the start of the fight for the element of surprise bonus damage. Okay, so charging the right click and casting the whiteout. When you end up fighting someone 1 versus 1, or when you want to kill someone, use your 2, Z and the right click, unless he's immune. Starting the combat, you charge your right click for the bonus damage and use the whiteout. When you pick up someone who's alone or you want to kill someone, use 2, Z and right click to apply. You use 2 to apply the freeze, and then you proc it with the right click for bonus damage. And meanwhile, Z can give you the cryo charge proc for bigger bonus damage on your right click. Okay, so each fight you start with charging your right click for bonus damage and whiteout. If you pick up one player, you apply your icy beam and cryo beam. Icy beam freezes enemy and gives you bonus damage on the right click, and cryo beam can give you cryo charge that gives you 2 right clicks for free. So you can combine those 2 together. Always when you have the impulse charge, always charge your right click. Okay, so 2 and Z. Okay, he died before I used my cryo charge. Okay, so his paladin symbol is down. Using Z. Oh, never mind. Okay, impulse charge is ready. I just procced his paladin symbol with the pain shock. Okay, so Z. Let's go again. Impulse ready, right click. 2 Z, then right click, never mind, paladin symbol. Impulse is ready, charge right click. If there's only one player, you don't need to use whiteout, you can use the check dice, for example like this. Charge right click, then check dice. Okay, you proc the paladin symbol. When it's over, then use 2 and Z. Okay, there's more than one player. Charge right click for bonus damage and use whiteout. To Z. Okay, charging right click. Paladin symbol down. When you're fighting someone, use the shield. And before I could do anything, he died. So anyway, before jumping into huge fight, wait for your whiteout. It's ready. Get your right click, whiteout, and since there are 5 enemies, use your ultimate. Yeah, when you're in fight, always use shield, 2 and Z. Check dice. Let's see. Whenever, if no one is focused, you don't waste your shield. Always charge your right click. There is no point taking the flag as Cryomancer. You're way too squishy, you'll just die in 2 hits. So don't even try. Prevent the enemy from taking the flag by freezing him or using the snowball. It doesn't work where he's immune, of course.